The astonishing news that we are finally getting the Monty Python reunion that we've always dreamed and hoped of. What made it the right time for that to finally happen after all these years of waiting?
You lose a court case and it costs you an awful lot of money, and we had to sit together and decide how are we going to make some money to pay off this huge amount. And that's what sparked it off. And Eric has been trying to get us to do a show again for some years, so everything kind of fell into place. The surprise is that we literally did just plan to do the one show, and then we penciled in a couple extra dates in case we sold out, and then it just went crazy. So we're all, I think, still reeling from the fact that people, first of all, remember us, and second of all, are silly enough to pay all this money to see us again.
Aside from the obvious financial incentives to return, was there a creative excitement at the idea of working together again, collaborating and doing comedy?
There's more fear than anything else to see if we get, but I think what happened, we did a read through and the stuff was funny again, and it was also great to see Mike Palin being so brilliantly funny, which he's capable of, rather than traveling around the world in comfort.
What's the bounce like in terms of, is it going to be stuff that we've seen before, or is there going to be a proportion of new material? I mean, is that something you've talked about?
No, I think we'll do all the bits that never worked. That'll teach people to wait that long.
And of course, I mean, you guys have stayed in touch and been close friends over all these years, but who's changed the most now that you're back together? Who do you think you've noticed the passage of time with the most?
The weird thing is, when we get back together, we all sort of revert to who we were when we were doing Python. That's the most bizarre thing. And it's kind of disturbing in a strange way, because we've all gone our different directions. Suddenly we get back together, and there's the same old relationships, combinations. It's, on one hand, you feel young again. On the other hand, why am I stuck in this eternal loop?
Is there one particular sketch that you personally are most excited to get a chance to dust the mothballs off and bring out again in front of a live audience?
Now, the one I love the most, we're not doing, the Undertaker sketch when John comes in with a bag with his dead mum in it, trying to work out what to do with her. Unfortunately, we're not doing that one.
That one?
I don't know. In fact, because if you make enough noise and start a petition, maybe I can convince the others to do it.
We're heading into award season. How much value do you place on awards in terms of...
They're not awarding my films. I pay no attention at all. Awards are, I don't know what they're used for. It's kind of, I always feel awards are like being back in school, where end of term, who gets the gold star? But it's not as innocent as it was in the school. There's so much money spent on marketing things, and I begin to think it's crazy. And I read all these reviews. I said, how much do they pay for those reviews? I've seen the films. I didn't see what they're describing in the ads.
Talking about films, do you have any other projects that you're working on at the moment? Do you know what you're going to move on to next?
I've got to do another opera in June at the ENO, and then I'm looking at our old friend Don Quixote to see if we can finally get him off on his horse again and make him ride this time.
Do you have a leading man in mind for Don Quixote? You've tried several.
We're ready. I mean, we're going to shoot in October. We don't have the money or the actors, but other than that, we got a script and a dream.
Of course, I mean, we love what you did with the last opera. What was that experience like for you, moving into a very different medium, a very theatrical medium?
Yeah, I thought opera would be interesting because it's harder and harder to get money to make really good films, and I thought I'd learn a new craft in my dotage years. And unfortunately, it was hugely successful, and I foolishly decided to do another one. I'm regretting it.
Sorry, what did you think of the New Year's Honours List? Obviously, you're
I didn't even know. I was away.
Oh.
Was I made a knight or something?
No, but you could be eventually.
Who got something? Who got a good gong?
Who are the main? Karen Brady, yeah.
Yeah. Justin Bieber, whatever his name is. Now, he's retired, hasn't he?
He's a dame.
He's a dame, yes.
What do you think of all these young stars that are kind of going off the rails, like Justin Bieber?
Young stars are supposed to do. Go off the rails, get into drugs, die young. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do.
Do you think there's not enough rock and roll these days?
I am sad that there aren't as many deaths as there used to be for young stars. Yes. Now, rock and roll is much more fun than what it is now. Everything is a bit too tidy. It's a bit too planned. Before it was just raw. There wasn't a system. In my youth, the system wasn't developed yet. So it was just people going out and doing it because they loved it, took chances, and surprise, surprise, some of them became incredibly successful. Now it's too much organization out there.
People like Justin Bieber, does he?
I've never seen him do anything ever.
No.
I don't even. Is it Bieber, not Bieber?
Yeah, Bieber.
Okay, I've learned something tonight.